And our big story tonight starts with a breaking update after 2 police officers are shot in Louisville. This follows hours of rising tensions after a grand jury in Louisville today decided not to charge the police officer who killed Breonna Taylor. One of the 3 officers involved in the raid the night she was killed was fired, and today he was indicted, but not for her death. Now, before we dig into this grand jury decision, let's catch you up tonight on what's been happening in downtown Louisville. These are live pictures, and you can see things are relatively quiet right now, but as you can see, there is a heavy police presence. Now, about 30 minutes ago, we learned 2 Louisville officers who were shot are both expected to be okay. One of them was in surgery. Both, though, were alert. Police do have a suspect in custody. Now, the city of Louisville has been preparing for this widespread unrest all week, calling in the National Guard and extra officers, imposing a curfew tonight and declaring a state of emergency. Now, we've seen protests in Louisville and all across the country, from Chicago to Philadelphia and New York City. And tonight, our Lauren Kostick shows us the reaction from Hoosiers.
There's no doubt that this is a gut-wrenching, emotional case, and the pain that many people are feeling is understandable.
Justice for Breonna Taylor! Justice for Breonna!
It's a pain that brought Taylor Hall out to the circle to protest.
I couldn't believe it was true. A part of me felt kind of hopeless.
Hall bringing along a sign that read, "She's someone," with the words sister, mother, daughter, and wife crossed out.
It doesn't matter if it's someone's daughter, sister, she's known by thousands or known by 10 people, she's still someone.
The small but passionate group marched around the circle, many saying the indictment of one officer isn't justice. Especially since the indictment itself wasn't for a charge related to her death. Mayor Joe Hogsett also responding to the news during a neighborhood walk.
The truth is, any kind of controversy or unrest anywhere affects us all everywhere. That's just the way George Floyd and his tragic death have changed the world.
Protesters marched for about an hour and a half before heading home.
It's nice to see everyone come together. It gives me hope and it gives me inspiration that there will be change and that our next generation will lead.
We know there's a lot to unpack here, so let's walk you through 3 key points to know. The only charges recommended in this case are wanton endangerment. So what does that mean? Under Kentucky law, it's when someone shows indifference to the value of human life and puts someone in serious danger. These charges aren't even for the officer whose bullet killed Breonna Taylor. They're for the now former officer who fired shots into a nearby apartment during the raid. Brett Hankinson could face up to 5 years in prison for each of the 3 counts. Now, he's already been booked and released from jail after posting his $15,000 bond. Now, the other 2 officers at the raid, the ones that shot into Taylor's apartment, aren't even facing charges. And that's a big part of why some people are upset. So what's the reason? The grand jury decided those 2 officers acted in self-defense. The investigation found Taylor's boyfriend shot one of the officers in the leg, thinking they were intruders. That's when police shot back, killing Breonna Taylor. And that's tonight's big story. We'll be tracking all of the developments overnight and send you an alert on the WTHR News app. That way you know what you missed when you wake up in the morning.